This is the all-new Community Connection. I'm your host, Jade Harr, keeping you connected to our community. There are many new schools and educational opportunities cropping up all over our region. Charter schools are becoming commonplace as we look for ways in what we will do to provide our children with quality education. Well, I am joined today by Amber Simpson, CEO and founder, Dr. Amber Simpson,
yes.
I should say, of Vernare, building sustainable communities one school at a time. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. So glad to know about Vernare. Now, tell us about the school. Tell us about the name. Tell me what you have founded.
All right. So when I think about what we need in the city, I think about how we need to come together. We have so many wonderful things in the city, and yet, unfortunately, so many times it's highlighting the negative. Mm-hmm. School always has played a very central part to the fabric of any community. And when I think about St. Louis, we've had such a strong legacy of education in our city and throughout the region. And so a few years back, when I really found my heart song, if you will, and decided to start pursuing this career in education, looking at the options of charter schools was very intriguing to me because it allows some very interesting, innovative approaches to educating our students or any student, but at the same time requiring that extra level of accountability. Mm-hmm. And that is so important if you think about how we're preparing our kiddos and families for not only the personal growth and becoming citizens as personal agents, but also when you think about the community at large. Sure. It all goes back to having strong schools. So when you look at Vernare, what does that mean? Well, Vernare actually is from a Latin root called verno, meaning to flourish, to grow green. And
nice.
So our thought
to grow
of,
green.
yes, to grow
and
green.
Flourish.
Yes. Sustainability. When you think about the word sustainability, it's becoming really popular, right? And you automatically may think
you don't hear that with children.
Right.
Yeah.
You may think green, recycling, things of that nature, right? But when I think about the deeper meanings of sustainability, particularly with our logo of building sustainable communities, right, one school at a time, you're talking about social justice. You're talking about importance of place. You're talking about respect for limitations, all these types of things that really go into sustainability and how it takes each one of us to not only be a part of that, but first recognize our place in that space. And so Vernare is striving to be both a school, but also a place to build community.
Right. It's going to be a central hub. Why has that been a challenge for us through our public school system?
I think that honestly, we can get so bogged down with the hustle and bustle of what is happening. In the public education space, there's so many bureaucracies, so much focus on test scores and a lot of different things that unfortunately kind of get in the way of doing what we do best, which is taking care of our kiddos and raising them up and helping them to reach their full potential. That has been a bit of a challenge because we've gotten increasingly higher sets of standards and output levels that all public schools have to reach and maintain. However, I think that in spite of those challenges, there still is that space, and it should be a priority that we take a little step back and make sure that we keep reminding ourselves as public educators or any educator what's most important in that child. And so if we stay student-focused, student-centered, know that everything else will follow
Absolutely. Through. Well, tell us a little bit more about you as the head mistress, the head of school. Yes.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. It's been a very interesting arc, I'll say, starting, and I'll give a lot of credit to my dad. I grew up, had a single dad for a while, and he was young, and he did the best he could do. And one of the best things that he ever did that I realize now was before I went to school, I learned how to read, and I'll tell you how. Do you remember those little 45 records, and you'd have the book, and you'd hear the chime, and you turn the page?
Yes.
He also instilled in me that sense of responsibility, giving back. The little you have, you share. It is our responsibility, our calling to do that, to be a servant leader, if you will. And so that has stuck with me throughout the years. It's interesting.
Where'd you go to school?
I went to U City, so I have to give a shout out to U Town. Hello out there.
All right.
But what's really interesting is that when you have that young kid from the other side of the track, so to speak, it's not that a lot of people say, hey, you should go into education. It's like, oh, you should be a doctor. You should be a lawyer. You should do this and that. And so off to college I went. I was very, very fortunate to have great mentors along the way and advocates along the way. Won a full scholarship to Washington University.
All right.
And was pre-med.
Oh, really?
For 1 year.
Okay.
And decided, no, this is not it. Didn't really know what I wanted. Mm-hmm. So I kind of went back to what I knew, foreign languages, did business. And so it's international business is my background. Very successful career. However, my heart and feel in my soul was really doing the youth engagement, the mentoring, the tutoring, all those types of things. And I did that throughout college. Even when I became a professional, always found time to do that. And about 7 years ago, I would say, was really that aha moment, as Oprah would say. If you're familiar with another set of really good charter schools here, the St. Louis Language Immersion Schools, founded by a very dear friend of mine, Rhonda Broussard.
Yes.
And as I was helping her start those schools as a founding board member, we were in her office and she says, when are you going to open your school?
Right.
And that really was that moment that it all kind of came together. And
because you did say communities,
yes,
one school at a time.
That's right. That's right.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So hopefully I can live up to the dreams and the hopes and aspirations of everyone that is learning about Vernare and wants to hopefully become a part of our family and ecosystem, keeping it in the sustainability, vernacular, but just to make sure that we are building a network of strong schools here in this region that'll hopefully help really support this burgeoning STEM-focused economic system that we're building right here in St. Louis.
Well, so describe that ecosystem. Describe the culture, the climate, the classrooms of Vernare. How is Vernare going to be different and how will it operate?
So one of the key elements of Vernare is that we are going to be a part of the SABIS network. Now, that's a name that many people have never heard.
Yes, tell us more.
Yes, SABIS is an organization, an education organization that was founded in 1886 in Lebanon, of all places.
Okay.
Two families, the Saads and Bistanis, thus SABIS, had a vision and said, if we don't start educating girls, this isn't going to be good for our economy. Now, just think about that, a country in the Middle East having that forethought so many years ago. Yeah. Well, since then, they're in 16 countries. They view it as a civil right to close the achievement gap, that all students should have access to quality education. At the same time, they realize it's not just about test scores. It's about the whole child. What is that character of the person? What is your sense of accountability and responsibility to not only the school community, but community at large? And so in our school, we'll have a very structured, holistic academic program, including Spanish, art, social studies, science, of course, music, PE, starting in kindergarten all the way through. But on the other side, we have a parallel system called Student Life Organization. And in Student Life, this is where we'll be identifying strengths of our students. Those that have academic strengths can have the opportunity to serve as peer prefects in the class. Those that have other leadership strengths, they will be fulfilling other roles in the school. And as these students grow up, then they'll begin to really start leading their own organizations, as whatever they imagine will help them support to do.
Well, what an example in leadership you'll have with your background as well. Now, where will you be located?
So we are honing in on our home right now. So our focused areas, we really wanted to be near the Old North neighborhood just because of the wonderful ties to a lot of the green initiatives that are happening in that location. So 63106, 63107 are target zip codes. However, we're open to all families across the city of St. Louis. We're also exploring another location that may be downtown. So as soon as we have ink on paper, we will definitely update the community.
So you mentioned social justice, and in our community and in these areas, the zip codes you're talking about, there are many areas of concern and challenge for families and children just in their day-to-day lives and community. How will you address that, and what will be in this hub to make a difference in that?
Right. So a couple of ways. On the school level for our kiddos, because we have this focus, this experiential science with the green side of STEM, if you will, we'll be addressing issues that are talking about the importance of place. So I want to really instill in our kiddos love for where they are from. Sometimes that's not necessarily reinforced when we look at, North City versus other parts of our community. But also getting into some sustainability issues. What about access to fresh food? where does our food come from? Why should we be concerned about issues such as scarcity of water and resources? And how do we really understand what are like native plants and animals and all these types of things, and how that it is important to build and sustain the physical community? So that's some academic piece. However, what I'm really happy about is a special partnership that we have with parents as teachers. We'll be launching a program called Parent University. The objective of Parent University is to gather our families and really focus on not just school readiness and early literacy, but also parenting skills and personal skills. How do we help our parents be the best parents that they can be, but also work on themselves and be the best self-agents, agents for their children, and thus agents for the community. So that's going to be a wonderful program. We'll be launching that with a play date in September, so more details to come there. And then finally, under our umbrella of our community resources, we really want to be this nexus of community organizations and resources. So where Vernare, yes, is a school, yes, we'll have Parent University and other programs, but we also want this to be the meeting place and meeting space for others in the community. And so we were actively looking to form partnerships with great service providers that are not only focused in that 63106-107 zip codes, but across the city to provide those wraparound services for our kids and other families in the community.
Absolutely necessary. And I would love to see this happen. And I love that it's 2 zip codes at a time, you know, that we can maybe address things in those pockets and then unify. Are you working with the immersion school still now that Rhonda's not there?
So I am not as close as I was. However, I am in an extended, I would say, sense. For the past 5 years, I've served as the board president for the Missouri Charter Public School Association.
Oh, right.
So as SLIS and many of our schools, well, all of our schools here in St. Louis are members. So I feel that they're my babies.
All about setting up charter schools.
Yeah.
Well, we need to be having some training so that we can get these schools open. I mean, we certainly see the success happening at SLIS, and I don't understand what the dynamics are and what happened with losing Rhonda or Rhonda not being a part of, but it was her vision and heart and passion that made it exist. Does that make a difference, and will that affect the school? And could that be a concern for parents if we've got Vernare open and we've got Amber who's bringing the heart, the wealth, the soul to it, and then something like that could happen at your school as well? How do those things work out and impact?
Sure. Well, as I'll just borrow something from what Rhonda had built her school on, because she truly was one of my inspirations. I really admire her. She was a wonderful educator. She had this philosophy of shared leadership. And the sense of shared leadership is that it really takes everyone that's in that school community to step up to the plate and really help be a part of that decision-driving process, accountability process, etc. That is similar, a similar philosophy that I have. And even though I plan on being at Vernare for a while, I don't want it to be, it's not about Dr. Simpson. It's not about Amber. It is about this future, the future for our students. And each of them hopefully giving back to Vernare and paying it forward. It's about those communities, how we can help provide some tools so that the communities can flourish from where they are. And so continue
which
going
is key
forward
to your sustainability statement that is actually in your title.
Yep. So much larger than me. I consider myself to be a servant leader. So my sense of my personal scorecard, if you will, of success is when I've been able to help my team reach their full potential, and it keeps paying forward. So that's hopefully what's going to happen at Vernare.
Absolutely. You have children, Dr. Simpson?
I do. I'm a new mom.
Go ahead and give your baby a shout out.
She's 8 months old, and it's just so smart, beautiful. I learn from her every day.
Sure.
And now that I am a mother, this work is even more real. It's even more urgent because I think about what's going to happen when she is, going through school and graduating. What is the world going to look like? As a young woman of color, I want to give her all the gifts that I have and hope that she adds on to that and shares her light to the world. And so I want that for all of our kids.
Absolutely.
So this is as much as a part of her as it is for me.
Absolutely. We'll send out the invitation so that folks can find out more, get engaged, get involved, and discover the awesome opportunity of Vernare.
I will do. I would invite everyone across the St. Louis area to please come learn about Vernare Learning. You can visit us virtually on our website at www.vernarelearning.org. That's V as in Victor, ERNARE learning.org. We'll have a series of some community stakeholder meetings. We have one actually August 21st. And so definitely reach out to click on our website to get more information. Like us on Facebook. We have our Facebook page. It's going to help me launch into the 21st century of social media.
Welcome aboard.
Yes. And we would just love to hear from you. We need volunteers. We need families. If you have a child that's going to be entering kindergarten, first or second grade next fall, we would love to meet you. We need folks that have expertise because of our sustainability focus. If you're an urban farmer, we need you.
So you will have a garden.
That's our plan.
Big community garden.
We want a garden. We also will be doing things like aquaponics.
Yes.
Will be like a little bit of our garden, so that kind of farm to table program. We need volunteers in all types of ways, and even serving on committees as we're going out to the community and reaching, and it's really each one reaching out and bringing us to this community space. So please contact us. And we look very, very forward to meeting you.
All right. Dr. Amber Simpson, CEO and founder of Vernare. Visit vernarelearning.org or call 314-222-2557, 314-222-2557 for more information. How many students will you take?
We are looking to have 270 students our first year, so there'll be
yes. Okay,
so calling all families
for sure.
We're absolutely signing up. So there will be a space for your kiddo. We'll have open with kindergarten through second grade.
Can you just make it a third grade to take in one more kid? I just missed this window. But I do look forward to finding out more and getting connected. So welcome aboard, and thank you for stepping up to this tremendous responsibility.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it for this week. If you have questions or comments or have something you'd like to include in the community calendar, you can leave a message on our message box at 314-333-8369, 314-333-8369. And for more information about our show or any of our guests, you can visit us online and listen to the podcast at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. And search Community Connection with Jade Harrell. You all be blessed, do blessed, and take care.